Hi guys, my name is Shane and I will be doing my review of the 2021 Spanish Grand Prix qualifying. We had a fairly entertaining session this weekend, a few curveballs thrown out and a few results that we weren't expecting. We will be going through it from the bottom to the top and see how each team did and how I think they will do tomorrow in the race. So starting from the bottom, obviously we have Haas. They were still the slowest team and Mick Schumacher managed to out-qualify Nicholas Latifi today to come in 18th, with Latifi 19th and Mazepin 20th. Mick Schumacher can only do this much to impress. It's the same with Mazepin. They can only do so much in a car that Haas has said they are not going to develop. But I do believe it is between those three drivers to fight to be the one of those three that isn't on the back row of the grid every week. Moving on up the grid, Raikkonen, what happened to his pace? He was so quick in the morning and then it just dropped off in qualifying and he couldn't seem to find the pace. He was outperformed by his teammate, and Alpha, I don't think Alpha are this slow. I think that Alpha is quick enough to be challenging George Russell to be the quickest of the Class C cars. And then the big story of qualifying one was Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki Tsunoda getting eliminated in qualifying one. When I initially saw it, I agreed with the commentator's perspective that he had pushed too hard on his outlap and taken far too much life out of those tyres. The soft tyres on the Circuit de Catalunya have a very, very, very small operating window where you get the peak performance out of them, and you can take that out of them by going too hard and fast on your outlap. You can just take that edge off of them. They do not have a long life for properly peak performance. And then after he got eliminated in his interview with the press, he still seemed to act a little immature and a little on reflex, saying that his teammate's car was faster than his, and that's not something you can say in Formula One. He does need to do a little bit of growing up, but he is still young, so it is somewhat understandable. Yuki is clearly a great talent, but he made a mistake today, and then he made another one in the media. Into Q2, George Russell again missed the Saturday. He did fantastically well. I think, well, Simon Roberts said that they were out of soft tyres for after Q1, so they were never going to do much better than 15th on the grid. So George did what he could with what he had and ended up qualifying 15th. He was pipped by Giovinazzi, who put that Alpha a little more where I thought it would be. They appeared to be far quicker than Williams, and I thought that Raikkonen could also knock Russell down a bit, but it turned out to be Gio flying the flag for Alfa Romeo. I think they will be quicker than Williams over a race distance, and Gio should pip Russell tomorrow. Next up, we have Aston Martin. Aston Martin, I don't think they're faster than AlphaTauri this weekend. AlphaTauri, I think, have the faster car. And I think that over the course of the race, we will see them drop back and they will be the 7th fastest car over the race distance tomorrow. And both Gasly and Tsunoda will overhaul Stroll and Vettel. They did very well today to put it in 11th for Stroll and 13th for Vettel. And they were on the cusp of Q3, but it just wasn't quite enough for them. And they continue to not seem to have the grips of that car. Then it's Pierre Gasly in 12th, splitting the Aston Martins. I thought that AlphaTauri was going to be quicker this weekend. It appeared quicker this weekend, and I think he will be challenging for points tomorrow, but this was a disappointing session for AlphaTauri overall. Then into the top 10, we had a few fun things in the top 10. No one improved on their final run again, just like in Portimao, which sort of made the end of the session kind of anticlimactic. However, Perez's spin early on did look like it might mess with Hamilton's lap, ultimately turned out to not matter. But we'll speak more about the top runners later. First up, we have Alpine, who have looked far quicker this weekend than I thought they would. Ocon qualifying 5th and Alonso bringing it home in 10th. They are a legitimate challenger for points, and Ocon could cause some upsets. They might be quicker than McLaren. I think McLaren may just have the edge, though. I think it will be a tight fight between those guys for the 4th fastest this weekend. Then we have McLaren, obviously qualifying in 7th and 9th for Ricciardo and Lando. They're just not as quick as Ferrari this weekend. Ferrari just seem to have something over McLaren this weekend, and if there is any midfield team that is going to snatch that podium, it will be a Ferrari. It won't be Daniel and it won't be Lando this weekend. They don't have the pace they had in Imola. They don't have the pace they had in Portugal. But it's another solid show, and it'll allow them to strengthen their position in 3rd, and it'll allow them to continue consistently scoring points as long as they can keep. If they have more good races than Ferrari do, which I think they will, they should be able to comfortably finish 3rd this year. Then we come on to Ferrari, Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz separate by a 10th of a second in 4th and 6th, both doing a very good job. And as much as I'd love it to be Carlos Sainz that stole a podium tomorrow, if something happened to one of the leading three, it will probably be Charles Leclerc. We all want to see Sainz on the podium at home, but I think it is more likely to be Charles Leclerc. Then on to the top teams. Obviously, Mercedes, the big talking point, Lewis Hamilton's 100th pole position. That is mind-blowing. The next best person has 68, and that is Michael Schumacher. It is unbelievable how good Lewis has been on a Saturday over the course of his career. and massive congratulations to him for achieving this incredible feat. And the fact that he's probably going to retire having hit 100 race wins as well just sort of cements his legacy as arguably the greatest of all time, and definitely statistically the greatest of all time. Then we have Bottas, who did his job yet again. He was close enough to Hamilton, and unlike with Red Bull, Mercedes have two cars in that front fight. Now, speaking of Red Bull, what happened? That car is the fastest on the track this weekend. Verstappen should have been on pole position, but he just couldn't hook it up in Q3. And as a result, it's going to leave him in a mildly more compromised position. He needs to nail Hamilton off of the line tomorrow to have any chance in the race, because Mercedes have two cars to fight them on strategy. And the reason that's an issue is because Sergio Perez had a qualifying session from hell. The only time Perez was even remotely close to Max was in qualifying 1 when he was 2/10 off. In qualifying 2, he was 7/10 shy of his teammate, and in qualifying 3, he was a second shy. He had a gap of nearly 2/3 of a second to fit in and still be on the front 2 rows of the grid, and he missed out. He also had that spin in qualifying 3. I understand he is still new to the team and he is still adapting to the car, but right now he does need to improve his performances, otherwise he's just Albon on more money at the moment. He will improve, and I have faith he will improve because he is a fantastic driver, but right now he is making both Max and Albon look increasingly good in comparison. Overall, I think tomorrow I'm going to stick with the prediction I made yesterday, that it is going to be a Hamilton from Verstappen from Bottas podium. I don't think anything's going to trip them up, and I think Mercedes being able to use Bottas as a fall guy to disrupt Verstappen's race and allow Hamilton a slightly easier time of winning it means that we are in for a more processional race. The midfield battle could prove more interesting, but I think Ferrari will have the edge over the McLaren and Alpine battle. And then towards the lower end of the points, where the drivers that didn't make Q3 will have the advantage by having free choice of tyres, that's where we could see the Alpha Tauris come in and snipe points with a driver like Gasly, like Tsunoda. Overall, I think the standout drive for tomorrow could probably be Yuki Tsunoda. He's very popular with the fans and he's aggressive on the brakes. If anyone's going to overtake at the Circuit de Catalunya, it's Tsunoda. So I could see him snatching a surprise driver of the day because the race at the front's a little bit boring and he makes some crazy moves further down the field to steal some points from 16th. Tomorrow's race will definitely be enjoyable to watch, even if we are watching the midfield rather than the strategic battle that I think is going to take place at the front. Tomorrow's race could very easily be decided on that run to turn 1. If Lewis is in the lead into turn 1, it becomes infinitely harder for Max. And if Valtteri jumps Max as well, then it's going to be a long day for Red Bull trying to figure out how to win a race they should definitely be winning. I will be uploading a video about the same time tomorrow, giving my review of the race. Hopefully I'm going to be doing this for every race, and as well as a couple of videos during the week from now on, due to the extra spare time I have on my hands. If you do see the video, please leave a like and let other people know that I'm starting up this channel, because I am really looking forward to it and it is an exciting opportunity for me to finally express my passion for Formula 1 to more people. Other than that, thank you for watching and goodbye.